Every Wednesday at 4:06 p.m., he dug a hole beside exit 29 on Interstate 84. Not a deep hole, just enough to hold a memory. He used a child's plastic beach shovel, blue, cracked, the kind with a cartoon crab on the handle. No gloves, no ceremony, just him, the dirt, and a single Polaroid photo. People passed him every time, commuters heading to Portland or Boise, truckers loaded with gravel, teenage couples escaping suburban gravity. No one stopped, no one asked. To them, he was background static, the old man near the wire fence, but he knew what he was doing. He was burying time. His name was Arthur, 63, widower, retired lineman. The kind of man who didn't say much at dinner but carved the roast like it was an act of worship. He lived alone now in a one-story house with ivy creeping through the foundation cracks and a porch swing that hadn't moved since Helen died. Helen, his wife, gone 3 years. Cancer took her in the quiet way, the unfair way, smiling until her lungs failed. She loved photographs, walls of them, shoeboxes of them, heaps of prints half-labeled from decades past. When she died, he found thousands, some with names, some without. He started going through them, at first to organize, then to remember, and then to forget. The first photo he buried was of her holding a pie, 1981, Thanksgiving. Smiling like someone who knew how to laugh with her whole body. It hurt too much to see it. He burned it, but it felt wrong, too final, too violent. So next time, he buried one instead. Every Wednesday since, he printed a new Polaroid, scanned from the old ones, one photo per week. He'd leave his house at 3:40 p.m., drive 18 minutes to exit 29, park by the shoulder, walk 30 steps down to the wire fence, and dig. At 4:06 p.m. exactly, he'd place the photo in the hole, cover it, tap the soil twice with the back of the shovel, and whisper something only the dirt could hear. He chose 4:06 because that was the time the nurse said she had passed. Not 4:00, not 4:05, 6. One Wednesday, a boy saw him, maybe 16. Skateboard hanging from his backpack, face blooming with acne and defiance. You burying treasure or something? Arthur looked up, blinking slowly. Something like that. The boy watched him cover the hole. He stayed until Arthur walked back to his truck, then disappeared down the road. The next week, the boy was back. No skateboard, just curiosity. Can I see it before you bury it? Arthur paused, nodded. The photo was of a picnic, July 1993. Helen biting into a peach, juice down her chin. Their daughter, Mia, in the background, half-dressed, chasing a dog named Ringo. The boy stared. She looks happy. She was. The boy didn't ask anything else, just watched as Arthur placed the photo in the earth and covered it. This time, Arthur left the shovel on the grass. Over the months, others came. First, a jogger who returned the next week with a photo of her brother killed in Afghanistan. Then a woman from the retirement home who carried a picture of her childhood dog. She stayed long enough to hum a hymn and kiss the soil. Then a couple who had lost a baby. Then a man who didn't speak, just cried. The spot became known, not famous, just known. No sign, no website, only whispers between people who still believed in holding on and letting go. Some weeks Arthur was alone. Some weeks there were 4 or 5, each standing quietly waiting their turn. No one spoke unless invited. It wasn't a club, it was something else. Arthur never charged, never led, never stopped bringing his one photo every Wednesday, 4:06 p.m. One day his daughter Mia showed up. She hadn't visited in months, busy life, busy kids. She saw the pile of Polaroids on his desk, each labeled in tiny script. You're still doing that thing at the highway? Yes, you could just keep them. Or digitize them. He didn't answer. She picked one up, her and Helen at her 8th birthday party. A clown in the background, balloon sword in hand. You're not forgetting her, are you? No, he said. I'm letting the pain remember her instead. She didn't understand. But she didn't argue. The seasons turned, the whole spots became covered in grass. No markers, just soft, uneven earth. One Wednesday, Arthur didn't come, neither the next or the one after. On the 4th Wednesday, a small group gathered. The jogger, the couple, the boy, now taller, older. They waited until 4:07 p.m. Then silently the boy dug the hole. He didn't have a Polaroid, just a note. It read, open quote, for Arthur, the man who taught us to bury time so we could finally live, close quote. They placed it in the earth together. One of them tapped the dirt twice. They all whispered something. The next week, more came. They brought their own photos, their own grief, their own quiet. Exit 29 became a ritual, a sanctuary built not of stone but of memory, a place where time was not erased but honoured, one photo at a time. And though no one led, the space remained sacred. Because somewhere beneath the grass, the first photo still lay, Helen holding a pie, smiling like she had always known they'd remember her. One summer afternoon, a documentary filmmaker stopped by. He'd heard about the place from a gas station clerk up the road. He didn't record anyone, just watched. And the next spring, Exit 29 became the subject of a short film that went viral. People across the country began leaving Polaroids by roadside fences, riverbanks, and vacant lots. Not to forget, but to carry grief with gentleness, to give sorrow a place. Years later, a new highway rerouted traffic. Exit 29 was decommissioned, forgotten by maps, but the patch of earth still remained. No one trespassed, the grass grew wild. And every Wednesday at 4-6 p.m, if you stood very still, you could feel the earth remembering, not mourning, remembering. The sound of a plastic shovel tapping